Hey, beautiful people, how's it going? We are going to continue with our HTML course. In this episode, we are going to cover metadata tags. You already know that all tags that are inside of head element doesn't represent visual information, but represent information that will be used for our system to use our page in different cases and contexts. We are going to cover not at all metadata tags because there are a lot, but we are going to cover must have metadata tags that should be in all our basic HTML page. So we are going to start with the most common metadata tag, and that is charset. Okay, remember something. There are not different semantic metadata tag. All metadata use the same tag, that is meta. The difference is in some cases, well, the differentiation is that in some cases, or the only difference between different metadata tags are the attributes. For example, sometimes we are going to use only the charset attribute. In order, we are going to use this one, or in the most cases, we are going to use name and content. That is the most common metadata tag, and the other one is just something for a specific case. Once we use the name and content, we are specifying information about a specific context. For example, if I using viewport just right there as name, we are going to use, or we are going to specify information about the viewport in the content section. This only is used, for example, to make the website responsive depending on the CSS element. So this is something that maybe just right now is not useful at all, but it's something that must have in your HTML page if you want your page be responsive. That is maybe a concept that you already know what is about it, but it's maybe something that allows you see your web page correctly in mobile phone and desktop. So once we see the charset, we are going to see the viewport, and the viewport is something that you already know that make website responsive. That's it. The other one is about the compatibility depending on the web browser. Maybe this is extra and is not must at all, but for example, in this particular case, we are specifying like HTTP equip, that is just apply a policy that, hey, if the web browser of the user web browser that are making the request is using, for example, the Internet Explorer, that maybe this is not useful at all, but it's something that in the past was so useful. In just right now, all web browsers are based on Chromium, so don't worry about it. But yeah, that's the point of the metadata. Just give context or information about maybe the user environment or the page environment, and that's all. The following is so important because allows include description. This description is also used by, for example, Google Chrome's web crawler. I'm gonna give you an example. Sometimes the description is this section just right there. I'm using this page because I'm gonna give you an example later about how to use the Twitter card and the Open Graph social media, but sometimes description is just like that. But it's interesting because if your web page doesn't have description, the web crawler is going to take the first paragraph or the first visual content and take and just showing in this section. If we are talking about, for example, Google Chrome, or Google or Google search engine. So the next one is the keywords. Maybe this is like, I don't know, social media, like once you upload or make videos on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and people used to use hashtag. This is something like that. Maybe in the past the keywords worked like hashtag, but just right now is not are not necessary at all, because there are modern strategies to make a good CEO or a web page. So yeah, maybe you can use keywords again. Maybe allows you give information. I just highly recommend don't abuse about this. For example, use, I don't know, like 5 or 6 keywords, because it's not something that, oh, if the user look for HTML, I'm going to show you your web page. No, doesn't work like that, because the CEO or also use another techniques or strategies to tell to the user, hey, this web page looks great, so use is just right there. And the other one maybe is important, because give the author information. So in your case, you are going to add your name, or your name and your email, or just your email, whatever. But it's something that is useful for companies or for web developers to tell other guys, hey, I made this work, and you can comprove that using the well, looking the code and looking the metadata tag. But also, this code could be modified, so be careful with your contracts and how you do your work. The other one is robots. Robots is interesting because